Every packing list written in the last 30 years says the same thing about electricity. Buy a voltage converter. So people do, about $40, roughly the weight of a paperback, into the suitcase it goes. The thing it is meant to replace costs a few dollars and does a completely different job. One of those two objects is the one you actually need. And there is a line of small print that settles which in a single glance. Stay to the end though, because there is one thing in your bag that really does need a converter. And the converter almost everyone buys for it cannot run it. The advice is not stupid, it used to be correct. For most of the 20th century, a device was built for the voltage of the country that made it. A radio built for 120 volts had a transformer inside-sized for 120 volts. Feed it 230 and you did not get a warning. You got smoke. So travelers carried a transformer, and telling them to was good advice. Then the power supply changed. A switching supply chops the incoming voltage thousands of times a second and rebuilds it at whatever the device wants, which means it does not care much what you feed it across a very wide range. They got small, they got cheap, and by the early 2000s, they were in everything. That is the entire change, and nobody announced it. The guidebooks kept their electricity paragraph because it had always been there. The shops kept selling converters because people kept coming in and asking for them. Advice that was true once is the hardest kind to correct. So instead of arguing about it, I went and read the labels. Not the box, the spec sheet the maker puts out. 12 devices, 4 brands, Apple, Anker, Dell, Philips. Every number came straight from the company that built the thing. Then what the two of them cost. From shop listings, each price checked twice. And the one nobody prints on the front of the box, what a travel converter can actually handle. The countryside, I did not redo. It is the same data as the free plug checker on our site, all 232 of them. Nothing here is a guess. If I could not trace it to a page you can open, it is not in this video. The answer has been in your bag the whole time. Turn the charger over, and there is a line of small print nobody reads. It says 100 to 240 volts. That is not a rating. It is a range, and the width of it is the whole point. Every outlet in the world falls into one of two bands, and they do not overlap. The low band is the Americas and Japan. The high band is nearly everywhere else. That one printed range covers both of them, which means the charger does not care where it is. And it was not one charger. 12 devices, 4 manufacturers, not a single exception. Including the laptop brick, which is the thing people worry about most. That same line settles a second worry because it also gives a frequency, so that was never a question either. One exception, and it is why the myth survives. Anything that makes heat is built for a single voltage. So there is exactly one honest reason to own a converter, and it is a hairdryer. And here is what nobody checks. The converter people buy cannot run the dryer they bought it for. Now the part where the old advice is right, because it is right about something real. A charger processes the voltage before it uses it. A heating element does not. It is a resistor, and it simply gets hot. Double the voltage, and it tries to make about 4 times the heat. Hair dryers, travel kettles, curling irons, some older shavers. 4 things, that is the whole list. Put a low voltage one into a high voltage socket, and it does not fail politely. So the old advice was pointed at something true. It was just pointed at 4 things and then applied to everything. The converter sold to travelers is usually rated at 200 watts. A full-size hairdryer draws about 1900. 2 of those 4 cannot be run on that converter at any setting, and the one you would have bought it for is one of them, which is why the money points somewhere else entirely. A dual-voltage travel dryer costs less than the converter. Same wattage, same job, same company. Or use the one bolted to the hotel wall, which is already the right voltage for the country it is in. Then, there is the plug itself, which is a completely separate question. Flying from the States to China, your 2-pin charger slides straight into the wall. The grounded 3-pin one on your laptop does not. Same country, same trip, and the answer is different for 2 things in the same bag. Britain to the States, you would need something that steps the voltage up, and almost nothing sold to travelers does that. And some trips need nothing at all. An American flying to Japan has the right plug and the right voltage, and can pack neither one. One more worry to put down. Japan runs 50 Hz in the east and 60 in the west, and nobody has ever had to check which half they were in. One honest limit. I checked 12 devices, mostly chargers. I cannot tell you about the exact thing in your bag. So go and look at its label. That beats anything I just said. So, do you need a voltage converter to travel? No, not for anything that charges. Every charger, brick, and shaver I checked carries the same range, and that range covers every mains supply on Earth. The object you need costs a few dollars and changes the shape of the plug. The object you are told to buy costs about $40 and solves a problem those devices do not have. That is the mistake, and it is a specific one. It is not going unprepared. It is spending $40 to fix a $3 problem. The exception is real, and it is narrow. 4 categories, all of them heat or motion. And even there, the converter is usually the wrong answer, because the one that fits in a suitcase cannot run them. The fix for those is a different device, not a transformer. Adapter, yes. Converter, almost never. And read the label to be certain. So here is what to actually do, and it starts before you buy anything. Turn over every charger you plan to pack. Find the line that begins with the word input. If it gives a range, that device is done. It needs a plug adapter and nothing else. If it names one voltage, set it aside. That is the pile that matters. For most people, that pile is empty. Then buy the adapter for where you are going and not a converter. A universal one is a fair hedge if you travel often, and it is still not a converter. Check whether your plugs only partly fit, because partly is common and it is the case that catches people. If your laptop brick is grounded and the sockets there are not, that one plug still needs an adapter. For anything in the single voltage pile, do not buy a transformer for it. Buy the dual voltage version or plan on using the hotels, and ignore the frequency number completely. If you do nothing else, do the label check. It takes 30 seconds and it settles every device you own. If you want the answer for your own trip, we built the tool for it. Pick where you live and where you are going. It tells you which plug types are on the wall there and whether yours fit. It tells you whether the voltage bands differ and what that actually means for a dual voltage device. 232 countries and territories. It is free, there is no sign up, and the link is in the description. The same numbers behind this video are behind that tool, so it cannot tell you something different. Every figure I used is on it, with the source sitting next to it. If you think one of them is wrong, you can open the receipt and check. Because this was never really about voltage. It is about advice that was true when it was written and was never looked at again. The electricity changed about 20 years ago. The paragraph in the guidebook did not. That happens more often in travel advice than you would like. So when something sounds like it has always been true, it is worth asking when anybody last checked. The next time you are packing, turn your charger over before you buy anything at all. That one line of small print settles it for very nearly everything in your bag. The free plug checker for your own trip is in the description, along with every source we used. Thanks for watching to the end. See you in the next one.